Welcome to UGC Pro, the podcast where creative strategy, UGC innovation, and freelancing success collide. I'm your host, Kelly Rockline, a self-taught creative marketer from the brand and creator side. With over a decade of experience working with hundreds of brands and driving over $500 million in revenue. Now, as a mentor to more than 10,000 aspiring UGC creators and creative strategists, I'm here to help you unlock your full potential. Whether you're here to sharpen your ad game or gain fresh insights to elevate your creative freelance business, you're in the right place. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, or habit stack. Is there a pile of laundry that you need to get through? What about unloading the dishwasher? Maybe it's a good time to go out and get some fresh air. Whether you're cuddled up on the couch or getting your steps in, I am so happy you're here. So without further ado, let's dive in. We are back after taking off a literal month and a half, maybe even a little bit longer. I'm so glad that I'm officially back on track, guys. I originally paused because I was focused on Creator Confidential, which is the creator event that I hosted in Toronto, Canada with Mare and Keely, my two co-founders for Creator Confidential. And boy, oh boy, was it an absolute success. Guys, this was a 200-person creator event. This is the largest event, to my knowledge, in the UGC community that has been hosted to date, and to think we are just now getting started. I am just blown away by the turnout, the praises we received from our attendees, and even just the virtual praises from anyone that got a virtual ticket. For this week's episode, I wanted to actually dedicate it to a few different things. One, I wanted to discuss Creator Confidential. I wanted to also discuss this conversation around high ticket sales, and then also talking about what to post as a UGC creator looking to attract inbounds. And then lastly, give you guys a preview as to what the next few episodes are going to look like. Okay, so this was my first official event as a co-founder with Creator Confidential. I say this because back in 2024, I was brought on as a guest speaker and was honestly just in awe of what the Creator Confidential team was able to do with their first year event. At the time, I want to say there was 130 people that attended, and it was just magical. Being in a room filled with UGC creators, most of which were women, was something that I could not even begin to describe the feeling of. If you've never connected with UGC creators in person, you are missing out, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that you take advantage of the next opportunity that you have to connect with creators IRL. Obviously, Creator Confidential 2026 is currently in the works. We have not yet released our dates for next year, but we do have a wait list. So if you haven't yet already submitted your email, be sure to do so. I have linked it in the description. Now, we're not entirely positive, but we are most likely going to be having it in Los Angeles, which I'm beyond excited for. Having it in SoCal would be incredible because that is where a lot of UGC creators are. And the way that I like to think of it is that if we were able to accomplish what we did in Toronto, Canada, imagine what we could accomplish in Los Angeles, one of the most heavily populated UGC creator cities. I've said it before, I'll say it again, Creator Confidential 2025 would not have been able to be what it was without our incredibly generous sponsor, Motion. If you are not familiar with Motion, look up motionapp.com. They are the leading tool used by creative strategists and marketing teams for closing the feedback loop on how ads are doing. Motion is the creative analytics platform built for performance marketers. It helps teams find out what's working across hooks, creators, messaging, and formats without digging through spreadsheets. Anyone that's creative likely is not a fan of spreadsheets and probably gets overwhelmed just looking at a page full of numbers. Motion is incredibly visually driven and honestly made for creative minds. They're used by the top teams like Hexclad, Jones Road Beauty, and Power Digital, along with Ridge and hundreds of others. Motion basically empowers strategists and media buyers to collaborate on scaling what performs and eliminating what doesn't as quickly as possible. And ultimately, Motion helps teams save hundreds of hours per year on creative reporting, ideation, and iteration. In layman's terms, think of Motion as the creative strategy command center for teams looking to turn data into creative decisions as quickly as possible. So being able to have them as our headlining sponsor for this past year's event was honestly a match made in heaven, because not only are we their target demographic when it comes to who's going to use the platform, but also their headquarters is located in Toronto, Canada. If you didn't get a chance to attend the event or secure a virtual ticket, we actually have access to the recording, which I have linked in the description below. There may or may not be a discount code, so act quickly because I don't know how long it's going to be active for. There are literal hours of high quality conversations being had with, you guessed it, zero fluff. I was honestly just so overwhelmed in the best way possible at this event. When I think about the amount of people that came up to me, introduced themselves, literally cried when they met me, accrediting their business success to UGC Pro's resources, whether they're free or paid, it is a feeling that I will cherish forever and do not take lightly. Outside of attending Creator Confidential 2026, I do plan on doing some meetups this year, so stay tuned for that. And if there's ever anyone in your area that you know is a creator, I really highly encourage you to do a coffee date with them. If you're a little bit more antisocial, you could literally plan it so that you guys are just body doubling and working in person together. Working for yourself can feel lonely at times, even though it's also so much fun and incredible because you get to own your schedule, work for yourself, but also at times it can really feel like you're on an island, which is why having in-person events and even just connecting with creators locally can just be really good for your emotional and mental health. Also, being a business owner is not easy by any means, so just being able to connect with someone that understands what you're going through is something that really feels empowering and can honestly give you that recharge that you've been looking for. What's cool is I've now been to multiple creator events outside of Creator Confidential 2 years in a row. I've attended Create Hers, I've attended Trans UGC Foundation's event, I've even hosted my own meetups. For God's sakes, I've literally flown to Tulum to do an in-person creator Airbnb collab with like 15 other creators. Every single time I have an opportunity to connect with someone in real life, I take advantage of it. And even if you're scared to do so, I challenge you to do it. What's cool is when you connect with someone that's in the UGC community, in my experience, it feels like you've known them for a really long time, even if you've only ever connected with them on social media. And I think the reason why this connection feels so kismet when you meet each other in real life is because you do the same thing on a regular basis. You both do UGC. You might also be doing creative strategy. You're familiar with the pain points of being a creator. You both can't stand marketing bros. Conversations will come very easy with a UGC creator that you connect with in real life. I can promise you, you're not going to have a hard time figuring out things to talk about. And not only that, but we have creators that have said that when they attended Creator Confidential, they connected with people who they had never met before, who are now their longtime friends, that they've known for well over a year since the first event, which is in July of 2024, to the point where when it came to this year's event, they literally stayed with the people that they met this time last year. So again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but one, make sure to submit your email to the 2026 waitlist if you haven't already. Invest into the Creator Confidential recording. I can promise you there are so many takeaways to apply directly to your UGC and creative strategy business that will not only offer you a return on that initial investment, which is purchasing the Creator Confidential recording, but also return tenfold to your business. And then also, I challenge you to connect with one UGC creator in real life in your area in the month of September. All right, now on to spilling some tea. I am so sick and tired of hearing people talk about high ticket sales as if it's something new. Guys, if you're a successful creator, you're going to be able to charge higher rates and secure monthly retainers. It's as simple as that. I don't know why there are so many mentors out there that are repackaging the same shit and trying to sell it as something different. And it's funny because there are so many creator coaches out there that I'm getting ads for that are doing this. And it honestly just feels so snake oily. And it honestly gives me the ick. Because it's like, dude, you're literally acting like you created something, you're doing something different. No, honestly, you're kind of undercutting the competition by pretending like you're offering something completely different from other mentors out there. I have been talking about high ticket brand deals since the day that I found out that UGC went mainstream on TikTok. I mean, check the receipts. Go look at my TikTok from freaking summer 2022. I share how my hourly rate as a UGC creator was coming out to $8,000 an hour. This isn't something new. If you're good at what you do, you're gonna attract reoccurring clients who end up wanting to work with you on a monthly basis, aka monthly retainer, and are willing to pay you top dollar for your work because of the performance you can offer as a creator or strategist. And what's even funnier are these mentors are people who either learned from me and now are acting like they figured it out on their own, or people that I literally have never heard of before and have no track record of success in UGC on their own. There's just something that really just rubs me the wrong way, knowing that there are so many people out there that have learned from my free and paid resources since 2022, have taken that information and now repackaged it and are selling it to profit on their own accord. And it's funny because there are so many coaches out there that will say, oh, well, when I started UGC, there were no resources. Bitch, you're telling me in 2022, 2023, 2024, there were no free or paid resources? I call bullshit, because literally I posted for an entire year free resources for you to utilize, which you did, and you repackaged that information. And instead of building a thriving UGC business, you then became a mentor to maximize your personal gain, because you would rather be a coach and sell a digital resource than actually build a profitable UGC business for yourself. Whereas when I talk about my experience as a UGC creator, there truly were no resources available when I started in 2014. Even YouTube University was nothing compared to what it is today, because when I was trying to teach myself Adobe Premiere Pro, the type of video editing I was trying to do was direct response video editing, which there were no tutorials on at the time because the industry wasn't where it's at today. And for the little video editing tutorials I was able to learn from, there was a language barrier. It was someone that English wasn't their first language. And honestly, the stuff that they were teaching was pretty irrelevant to the situation that I was in. So when I say there were no resources when I started, I mean it. Whereas when I hear someone talk about there not being resources when they started in 2022, 2023, even in 2020, I call absolute bullshit. And if anything, I'm kind of like, dude, are you stupid? Did you not keyword search it in TikTok? Did you not take out time to look up on YouTube? These resources existed. And I just think it's incredibly insincere when I hear coaches claim that they didn't have resources when they started post 2020 and especially post 2022 and 2023. And then funny enough, they're also the ones that are like, no gatekeeping. Okay, Miss Ma'am, you literally copied and pasted what I shared in all my free resources, packaged it into a PDF guide or a community or whatever the heck, and are now selling it and profiting yourself, yet have never taken out the time and day to accredit where you got that information from. And it's funny because I have receipts. I have people who, are mentors today that have commented on my posts back in 2022, asking me all these questions. I've had creator coaches purchase my courses, and yet still today, they act like they were able to get where they are on their own. And it's funny because I will never claim that I'm self-made. And the irony is that there are so many creator coaches in existence in present day that have the audacity, for lack of better words, to say, oh, I'm self-made. Whereas I like to say, in my experience, I have gotten to where I am today through trial and error, because the resources did not exist when I first started, and my learning curve took literal years for me to get to where I am today, which is exactly why we created UGC Pro, the free resources, the video courses, the posts I make, because now you don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to learn through trial and error because these resources exist. So yeah, that's my take on high ticket sales. I think it's absolutely fucking stupid, for a lack of better words. I don't even know if I can curse on here, but that's just how I feel. And again, these people that call themselves mentors, coaches, I literally included it in my bio on Instagram. It's like your mentor's OG UGC coach, because literally they wouldn't be where they are today without me posting back in summer of 2022. And I know that sounds like almost ego driven, but it's factual, because again, I have the receipts of people purchasing my courses, downloading my resources, and again, commenting on my posts and me giving them the spoon-fed answers that they have now repackaged into a community, a PDF guide, etc. And I'm just being blunt because honestly, I'm kind of just sick and tired of watching people benefit more than someone like myself. And granted, it comes down to lack of execution to an extent, because for me, business is booming. I'm way too busy with UGC. I'm way too busy with creative strategy to really focus on selling my resources. And honestly, my sales, they come out to maybe like $3-5 grand a month at most. And sure, the month that I release a new resource, which is on rare occasion, it's a 5-figure month, or on the rare occasion, I decide to double down on promoting my courses, then all of a sudden I hit a 10K month. But again, it's not my priority because I'm pulling in anywhere from 15 to 20K plus a month working less than full time while building resources that I really feel passionate about, like our UGC Pro community. Okay, glad I got that off my chest. Let's move forward. What to post as a UGC creator that's looking to attract inbounds from brands, specifically brand deals. So I ended up doing a long form YouTube video on this. So I'm also going to link that in the description below if you haven't watched it. It's honestly super insightful because I walk you through really good visual examples as to how you could be posting as a UGC creator. And this is one of the most asked questions I've received, which is, as a UGC creator with a social media account, do I have to post educational content? And the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because I was doing a community call not too long ago, and I literally had a member ask, hey, I'm a UGC creator. I'm looking to create social media accounts so I can get more inbounds from clients. But my biggest reservation is creating a UGC account that has to do with branding myself as a mentor and posting UGC tips, because they didn't want to do that. And their reason being is because it felt like the copy and paste user generated content creator social media approach. And I'm so glad they asked this question because this is a topic that I've been meaning to address for a while now. Too often you see this really weird pipeline of, I heard about UGC, I started UGC, and then give it like a matter of weeks or months, and then all of a sudden this person is posting as if they are an advanced creator. And honestly, I don't fault them for this because that is what has been done by creators who've been in this space longer than them. So when you're looking to do what's next in your UGC journey, they're gonna look at someone who has a little bit more experience than them, and they're gonna mirror what they're doing. And it's so funny because that's a huge reason why UGC Pro, formerly UGC Social, became a thing, was because when UGC first went mainstream on TikTok, I literally created an account to debunk misinformation. And then over time, people were like, wait a second, we should listen to this girl. She kind of knows a thing or two about UGC. But then unfortunately, a lot of other creators started copying what I was doing because they're like, well, I want to show that I understand UGC too. Their logic being, well, if I post tips or expert advice, brands are going to see that and they're going to want to hire me because I know what I'm doing. But the truth of the matter is, when you are posting educational content, you are attracting a target demographic that you are not looking to attract. If you are a creator looking to acquire clients, you are going to need to change your content pillars, which is exactly what I go over in depth in that long form YouTube video. Again, the link is in the description. By the end of that video, you will know exactly what to post to enhance the likelihood of inbounds from clients without falling for that educational content trap. Because the only people who are benefiting posting educational content online are going to be those that are mentors that have a community or accelerator program, a PDF guide, etc. All right, so in the meantime, the TLDR, what should UGC creators actually be posting on social media to attract potential clients? There are 3 creators that come to mind that I think are doing really good at posting as UGC creators to attract potential inbounds, and that's Shylin, Julia, and Taylor Ives. In the long form video, I show visual examples of what they've been posting, and I emphasize, and I'm going to emphasize it again, is that I don't want you guys looking at their content and copying them verbatim. I want you to steal like an artist. I want you to be able to create content that is authentically you, that has your personality shine. For example, Julia has been taking us on her journey after getting her lower bleph surgery, whereas Shylin has been posting these really fun and cute outfit of the days. Julia literally the other day took us on her first day to try out Pilates. She also did a 2-part series about the Emma Chamberlain theory about dressing to impress and feeling better, kind of like dopamine dressing. And then not too long ago, Shylin released a new limited series, which is Dude, Where's My Couch?, where she's trying to furnish her new apartment and is refusing to buy a couch because she wants to work with a brand who will sponsor it. If you spend even a little bit of time looking at their profiles, do you notice how they're not posting UGC tips? Do you notice that they're really not even talking about user-generated content? I'm not saying that they can't talk about it or that they haven't, it's just not one of their content pillars. What you can see on their personal social accounts, specifically their Instagram in this case, is that their personality is shining through their content. And this is one of the biggest pieces of advice that I give to UGC creators, which is having an About Me video in your portfolio, because I want to see your personality first, while also in that same video seeing your filming and editing capabilities, in addition to storytelling skills. So unless if you're a legitimate UGC expert, advanced creator looking to help educate other creators who are selling a guide, an accelerator program, etc., there's really no reason why you should be posting UGC tips like a mentor. Because again, what you post as a content creator is going to dictate who your audience is and who your customer is. So if you're a creator that's looking for brand deals, you're not going to want to post UGC tips and tricks. Also, it goes without saying, but trust me, we're doing just fine in 2025. We got more than enough qualified and capable UGC creator coaches and mentors, and also the snake oily ones that I do not give my stamp of approval on. So I'd mentioned Taylor Ives earlier, and being I had just said that, you want to be careful about what you're posting because it's going to dictate your target demographic. So if you look at Taylor's page, she is posting some tips, but if you notice, who is she speaking to as her audience member? Her advice is specifically tailored for prospective clients. She is not looking to acquire students. She is looking to acquire inbound clients, aka brand deal opportunities. So if you're someone that still wants to be able to give tips, advice, while also sprinkling in personality-driven content, which is super important, you can totally do that. But you're going to want to make sure that you're tailoring it to your target demographic, which again would be inbound clients. And as someone that has mastered the art of inbounds, for me personally, it's through either referrals or from LinkedIn. I honestly hate to see creators shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to building their personal brand online, specifically on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, and curating content, posting around content pillars that are not actually targeting their direct demographic that they are looking to attract. Because again, if you're posting UGC tips to UGC creators, you're going to attract creators. And if you're looking to acquire customers, you're going to want to post examples of your personality and your capabilities of videography, editing, and storytelling. And again, I just want to emphasize, it's not to say that you can't post about the creator experience or advice, because again, someone that does a really good job at this is Taylor Ives. So make sure to check out Julia, Shailyn, and Taylor's pages, which are again linked in the description below. And then as far as what to expect for future episodes, we have part 1 of our Motion Create Ads That Convert event that is still waiting on part 2. I'm hoping to film that with Shane today. That way then it could go live next Friday. I then have a 2 to 3 part episode series where I sit down and talk with Sam, who is our former creative strategy student turned extraordinaire. She took our Intro to Creative Strategy video course when it first launched in January of 2024. And within 12 months, even less, she was able to not only surpass her income as a UGC creator working less than part-time, but I'm pretty sure double her business to a competitive 6-figure income. And then outside of that, I want to start having conversations with other creative marketers in the space. So if you have any recommendations, please comment them down below, and I would love to do some outreach to people you'd like to see as guests on the podcast. There are a few that come to mind right now. For example, I want to have my sister Carrie on to talk about her previous job situations. This poor girl has been through a roller coaster of experiences, both the good and the bad. And I feel like as someone with her level of experience will be very insightful for our audience. I want to have Alaya on to discuss the guilt and the downside of being an entrepreneur. He also just recently voiced that he was in a creative rut and was able to work his way out of it. So I'd love to have him on. I'd also love to have Keely and Mare on to discuss Creator Confidential, the past years, and then also what we plan to do in 2026. I want to have Grace from DoPay on and Chasing Invoices. I have a fractional CMO that I would love to have on the podcast that I worked with for a short while with one of my clients, and she has a wealth of knowledge that I would love to share with you guys. I'd also love to have Lamise back on. If you don't know who Lamise is, she's also a fractional CMO and paid media manager. She's been able to generate over $4 billion in revenue for her clients over the course of her career, and she would bring so much value to this podcast. I'd also love to have Evan Leon from Motion. He was one of our guest speakers at the Creator Confidential event. I have done a few collaborations with Motion and with Evan since, and I think it would be full circle if I could have him on for a podcast episode. I also want to have an episode with Mia for Creator Vault. I'd love to spill some tea, along with having Nick Castle on to talk about Fiverr and just building an agency as a father, a husband, and someone that works full time while doing all of this as a UGC creator and running a full-blown agency. I'd also love to have Eileen on, one of our former UGC and creative strategy students turned freaking pro with TikTok shop. She is absolutely killing the game. And the fact that she even accredits even an ounce of her success to me and UGC Pro is just an honor in and of itself. And then I also wanted to have a conversation with someone named Sam Wolf. I've connected with him on LinkedIn, and he has shared a lot of really good insights having to do with how to test as a creative strategist in 2025 going into 2026. Oh, and then also I know Social Savannah has been wanting to connect, so I'll have to send her a follow-up message on LinkedIn to put something on the calendar. But if there's anyone else that you would love to see me have on as a guest on the UGC Pro podcast, please comment them down below. I am all ears. All right, and that's it for this week's episode, guys. I am so happy to be back. Thank you so much for your patience on my return. And moving forward, you can expect a new episode every single Friday moving forward. So stay tuned for what's to come. All right, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the UGC Pro Podcast. I hope today's episode gave you inspiration and practical steps to apply to your business. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to hit follow, leave a review, and share it with another creator or marketer. And make sure to catch our next episode. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say you will not want to miss out. Until then, remember that success is a strategy and you are your most valuable client. So treat yourself like it. And lastly, if you aren't already connected with us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, look up UGC Pro and be sure to follow along. And as always, I wish you the best of luck on your UGC and creative strategy journey.